Hiya, afternoon on this lovely Saturday. Very misty and foggy again today. How are we all doing? Doing alright around the world, everybody? Oh, been Tesco's again, dog biscuits. Oh. I've have you noticed, got a bit of an injury. My fault. Before you all start saying what you done and is it the dogs? Yeah, it's the dogs. I got bitten and I should have actually gone to the doctors or gone to the hospital. It is always my fault. What's happened is I think the knuckle here is broken. I think it's broken here. I've been bit. I don't know whether it's either chipped the knuckle or it's as the top tooth has gone in off the dog, it's pushed the knuckle or broke the knuckle. I just don't know. I can't. I'm driving and changing gears with that. I can do that, but I don't actually know. I've got a bit of movement, but here the pain. I've bandaged it up. I'm not used to it now. An injury is me. I just don't even. I've got scars on tooth. I've got scars everywhere. Two here, big one there, one there. They were all big holes. What people need to realise, I don't want anybody slating German Shepherds, right? My dogs have not once gone for anybody. Bear in mind they're arse dogs, and they've never ever gone for me or growled at me. This is all my own fault. All this is what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm a complete and utter idiot. I admit that, right? I must love getting bitten. I just don't know. I take more care in the dogs that I don't really care what happens to me, if you know what I'm saying. But I've got to admit, this was painful. It was absolutely killing me last night. I have to admit that. Absolutely killing me. Excuse the pun, but I was actually going to I was just going to say I was massaging it last night. I was actually massaging my thumb. What I was doing was, here, it's so swollen, and here, so if I took this off, this swelling, what I've been actually trying to do, I've been trying to push the blood out. Because what's happened is, the way the dog's top tooth went in, the skin folded in. It actually looked, the best way to describe it looked like I'm going to say this in a polite way and not use any horrible slang. It looked like a bottom. It looked like a bottom of a person. Very, very, very painful. Now I'm going to explain to you exactly what happened. I've got the mum and dad dog at the front of the house. So they are separated, right? So I've got the two dogs, rescue ones in the house. Well, rescued as puppies. They all get treated the same because at the end of the day, I had every single one of my dogs from puppies. So I'm not going to start saying the two dogs in the house are different to the others, because they're not. Even though they're a bit of a pain sometimes and they cause me issues, but it's not the dog's fault. Right, so I've got the mum and dad at the front of the house. Now, what I actually had to do, I built another gate, what goes around the right hand side of the house. You probably might have seen it on the other videos. There's another gate built at the front that goes to the side of the house on the right hand side. If I'm looking out of the house, it's on this side, and that's the garden there. So the idea of that is the dogs at the back could go around the side of the house as well, so they've got a bit more room to exercise. Then as you go to the back garage, which is in that same area at the back, behind that black gate, you go to the garage where my car is in, there's another gate, and that basically keeps them 5 other dogs the mum and the parents are at the front, the 5 other dogs at the back of the house, then they can't go. So when I get my car out the garage, say, then they are secured at the back and they can't go down the side of the house then. So theoretically there's 2 gates. So what happens is, this is what I normally do. In the daytime, I'll leave the other back gate open at the back, so the dogs at the back can go at the side. Now the parents, the 2 dogs at the front, they have no interest in them 2 dogs anymore, in the other 5 dogs at the back. So there's no, you don't get them barking at them dogs or anything, winding them up. There's only probably Bear, which is one of the big males. He gets a little bit ratty. But the mum and dad dogs, the parents, they tend to just keep out of the way of that back gate and just stay over more over to the left at the front of the house. So it's as if they know that their children don't like them anymore. But the females, you can tell, do like the mother. They do actually, and a couple of males do like the mother. And it's quite sad really, because Suki's the mum. There's a gap in the gate, and I sometimes block the gaps up as well with chipboard, what we call OSB here, and so they can't see the parents, Erdy, the dad, because they attacked. That was why they got separated. They turned on the dad, and we had a fight with like 4 or 5 dogs, and he wasn't really having much of a chance really, and that was another. I got bit then as well. But the mother, she's never actually had any problems with any of the dogs, never got into any fights. So, like I said to you, I've got that black gate at the front, and then I've got another gate what separates them. So what happened yesterday morning, my girlfriend went out to the front of the house. The 2 dogs in the house, they can actually hear. They're that clever. They can hear my girlfriend put the 2 dogs with the parents into the garage at the front. It's like they've got radiators in there. They've got luxury, because that was going to be like a YouTube studio for me. She got it all painted up for me, all nice. And then obviously when the dogs all fell out with each other, what I do, especially now winters here as well, the parents, they go in the garage at night time. So around 10 o'clock at night, my girlfriend puts them in the garage. They've already been to the toilet on the front of the house or whatever. They've already been to the toilet or whatever, so they go to sleep in the garage at night time. So my girlfriend puts the 2 dogs in the front, the 2 dogs in the front, the parents, into the garage at the front. Not my garage. There's another garage at the front of the house. So she puts the 2 dogs, the 2 parents, in the garage. The 2 dogs are upstairs. I was just in the bathroom, and next minute I hears them 2 dogs run downstairs, because they run like 2. I've got to get a video. They run like letting. There's like a baby. Well, it's not a baby gate. I put a gate at the top of the stairs, so that them 2 dogs couldn't run down or can't just do what they want. But they just push it out of the way now, because I've got those like bungee hooks. So my girlfriend didn't know I'd left that gate open at the side of the house in the morning. And she was probably hoping I'd probably going to shut it either way. So they went running out the front, and when they go on the front, they just go barking like crazy. I don't know whether it's a bit of because they're a bit scared of the parents, or I don't know what it is. Because obviously the dad, the male, the dad, he was of all the dogs he put in the garage, he used to get mad with the male one, the rescue one. They were fine as pup when he was a little puppy, but as he got older, because the male in the house, Hunter, he was bullying the other dogs as well, because there's a bit of an age gap between the ones at the back. So whereas their birthdays are at the back, their birthdays in December, these other dogs in the house are 3 months older. So they sort of bullied the ones at the back, which then got the dad mad. So we were getting onto the male, Hunter, who's in the house. So they tend to run out the front of the house in more, I think it's more of a being scared. So they go crazy barking. I mean, it's quite embarrassing really. But so Hunter stays on the veranda, just looking around after he did a bit of a barking. Luna goes running to that back gate where all the other 5 dogs are, and she's barking that much at the gate because she knows them dogs at the back attack them too. That's why they got separated. Separately they attacked them. Because she was barking, she set all them dogs off. So all I could hear was all that back gate was banging and thudding. And I thought, Jesus Christ, they're gonna. I mean, bear in mind, my males are like 50, 60 kilograms. And that is heavy for a German Shepherd. But the big dogs. And they are 50, 60 kilograms. It's not exaggeration. It's not exaggeration. So I goes running as fast as I can to around the back, and all I can see is the 3 males having a right fight. And it was like, I'm laughing about it now, but it wasn't. I wasn't laughing. It was absolutely terrible. It was like watching 3 big hippopotamuses. It was like in slow motion. Nothing like when the females, because the females don't weigh as much. And it was like going up in the air, going rah, rah. And they was grabbing the dog. 2 of them grabbed the other one's ear. I mean, they've never, since that other female died, the other sister of the ones at the back, because there was 6, they'd calm right down. I've not had any problems for a long time. For months. Not even this year. But it was like last year when I had the problems, and just looking at the way they were fighting, I thought, Jesus Christ, they're going to kill him. Because these my dogs, I think they'd fight till the death. I'm telling you, not with a person, with themselves. And normally the females get involved. Well, it's normally the females who cause the problems. And I don't really know what happened at the time when they was all jumping at the gates. But knowing how I know our dogs are, a group of dogs, and I imagine this is the same with pit bulls, Rottweilers, and a lot of dogs. When there's a lot of dogs all jumping in the same area, being irritated by other dogs and they're all getting angry, I reckon a lot of dogs what are together, it's a dominance problem and will start to attack each other. I mean, even Suki at the front of the house, if she starts to bark at dogs on the street or people who she doesn't like, Birdie, even though they're like a king and queen, he'll sort of go to bite her and jump on her back, and he just sort of start bumping her. I know it sounds. I mean, there's other people who's had the same sort of thingy, but then she just turns around and she just attacks him. But then it's over and done with. She just gives him a warning, and then he just stops and he does his own thing, then barking. But these dogs, they were fighting, and I just sees it and I thought, shit, I didn't have any time to grab the hose pipe. So I just goes running in. Bear in mind, I've got nothing on my feet, alright, just got my tracksuit on and my top. Like an idiot, puts my hand right where Kai is, the one who's really fluffy. He's a lovely looking dog. Right, put my hand right in front of him, tried to pull his face away. But it was just ridiculous, because it was like, it's basically like putting your hand in a fire. I just put my hand to sort of try and grab his mouth. I don't know why I do this. And as he lunged forward to do one of his bites at the dog, went straight through my hand. I can't explain the pain to you unless anybody's been bit by a big dog, right, and a powerful dog with a lot of pressure. You know, I mean, I think a German Shepherd, you know, I think it's somewhere around, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I think it's around 250 pounds of pressure when they bite. Bad enough being bit. I mean, my dogs have got big teeth and they're big dogs. I do not know whether this pressure varies from size of dogs, but the tooth went straight through there and come out come out there. I think he's broke me knuckle and everything. I sort of looked down, I sort of felt the pressure, and I thought, oh, nothing. Took one look again, and I just realised how bad it was, and the blood then just started pouring out, and it was going everywhere. And then I realised the hole there, which is like in your main knuckle bone there, if you can see what I'm trying to drive there, just at the side of it, clean hole straight through. But what it is, the skin had folded in like what I said to you, it's like looking at a bum or looking at an apple. It's folded in, and it was terrible. I mean, I'm in agony right now because I'm changing gears, but either like this or like this. But my fault. It's not the dogs, and they're fine. And do you know what? To say they were grabbing each other, they're grabbing two of them. You see what our dogs work. You see what they'll do is they'll either a group of dogs. When you've got a group like I have, a lot of people won't be able to cope with what I've got. It's not a normal type of thing what people do, and it's expensive. Don't ever, I'm telling you now, people, believe me, it's not easy. And I'll tell you something now, I do not bully my dogs to make them behave. I know that there's these people, right, and they have all these dogs, don't they? But I've heard rumours that they've treated the dogs like crap, basically, to make the dogs scared, and done all that. I don't do anything like that. My dogs do not get it. They do not do it. I do not do anything. I have pushed them with my feet when they've been fighting, if it's got really bad. But what I tend to do is normally a bucket of water, and I throw it. I just didn't have no time to do anything yesterday, or the hose pipe. But the hose pipe sort of stopped working. I actually I've got one of my big containers, about that big black water container and that red one. I've got that in before. What used to happen when the oil used to fire, I used to have to get the container and I'd tip the water out and it was dead heavy, and I'd just drop the plastic container over their heads. That tends to separate them, because when they can't see what they're doing, they don't really like to fight. And then the other way to do it, I'll either just really shout. But this getting bit business is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why I'm doing it. It's stupid. And yes, I have had a tetanus, because when I got bitten, the first time I ever got bitten by these dogs, it was all on my legs, and it was a lot terrible. I've got photos. I'd like to try and put them up, but I don't want people to get the wrong idea with the dogs. My legs were covered in blood. I had holes all over my legs, like 5 or 6 big holes over my legs. You can't go around just stitching all. You can't just go around stitching it up. You know, they don't stitch it up here. The idea is that's one of the worst things you can do, because if you start trapping infections, if you get an infection and start trapping it, all you're doing is you're just basically you're just making the problem worse. It's alright. I don't think that's gone in reverse. Thought it hadn't. I'm using my other hand, you see. That's it. It's I've got like no strength in my knuckle, and it's really painful. It is quite painful, to be honest with you. So, pocket there. I'll park it there. No, so sorry, my girlfriend's asked me to park it inside now. So yeah, so that's basically what I've done to me hand. So no, it wasn't my dog's fault. It's all my fault. I mean, they're fine now. They're absolutely They're absolutely fine. Them two dogs just wind them up. I'll be at the other house anyway, so things will be a lot better. Anyway, thought I'd just let you know what's happened before everybody starts saying, oh, what happened? And I thought I'd share the story with you anyway. So hopefully I'll get a bit better. Right. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, everybody. A bit foggy, a bit cooler. It's not that cold now, but it's very chilly in the morning. I'll see you all soon, yeah? Bye.